right? Like, because, we're going up against a division rival the year that we thought we were going to write them off and everything. But Wayne, before we do all that, you know how I like to start the shows, man. I want to ask my brother how he's doing. What's going on with you, man? How are your travels? Because let me tell you, man, when I hear Wayne in flight, I start praying. I grab a rosary. I drive past a church. I really be going for you, bro. So how was your flight up there? Did you make it safely? What's going on? You look like you in good spirits.
Yeah, man, I'm in Seattle chilling, man. It's kind of nice out here. It's cold though. It's real cold. It's like I feel like we back home, bro. But man, the flight was smooth, man. Flew out of Connecticut this time. Had zero problems. Know what I'm saying? No stabs at New York. Yeah, no stabs at New York. People keep trying to come in my room. This is crazy. I feel like I'm in the wrong room. Yep. Yeah, I don't get how people just keep trying to come in the room, bro. Like how they got keys to my room.
All right. They open the door?
Yeah.
Oh, nah. That's the problem.
As soon as we finish the show, I'm gonna go get a new room, bro. Because this is the third time. I think that was the housekeeping, and I already told her that I was straight.
You put the little sign on the door?
I'm gonna go put it on the door in a second.
So I did that when we were in Mexico, but it was in Spanish, so we didn't know what it meant. And so apparently that was us inviting them in. Like Shorty just came in the one day, like just started taking the towels and everything. Like we in bed on vacation, just chilling. She just walked in. So make sure you read your sign. I'm pretty sure that the official language up there is English still in Seattle, but but listen, man, I'm glad you had a good flight. I'm glad you got your bags and everything. So we can jump into it. Do you want to go throw that sign on the door? Or you want me to wait for you real quick? Or
let me go throw it on the door real quick, bro.
Okay, all right. So while my man goes to do that, thank everybody for jumping in here. Mike Ing, I see you in here, man. Diego, I see you, man. Nice to see you in there and everything. Everybody behind the scenes making all this stuff happen, guys. We have a really fun show prepared for you guys today, man. We're gonna do some reacting to the Brock Purdy mania. You know what I'm saying? And all these cool little nicknames are flying around the internet. We will Brock you. I mean, I'm seeing everything out here. Wayne, of all the little nicknames and tags and all that are appropriate, which ones have been your favorite so far, man? Because this is
the one I created.
Which one was that?
Hot. The Brock is hot.
The Brock is hot.
The Brock is hot.
Okay. I like that. See, you know what I'm saying? I like that, man. I've been seeing a lot of different things in this, and it's pretty cool. I don't know if you remember this time, man, but we're going back some years here, and being in the Northeast, there was a craze that took over New York, parts of New Jersey. It might have made its way all the way up to Connecticut, man. It was Linsanity.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I feel like that's what's going on here.
Did you see the movie that they created on Netflix?
No, stop it. No,
yo, it's so dope. Yo,
oh my goodness.
Check it out. It might not be on Netflix. It might be on Hulu or Amazon Primes. It's on one of them joints, yo.
Did you have the chat pulled up on the side?
Lean with it, Brock with it. That's
yes, dope. I like that one too.
Hey. Yes. Lean
I like that too, man. Like they are killing it out there with those things, man.
That's fire.
I like that. I like that.
Oh, so, I got a new one.
Here we go.
I wanna rock with you.
Let's go, right?
All night. Let's go.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about, man. This is good, and let's start there. Let's start with Brock's performance, right? And I thought it was very, very touching seeing his family and things like that in the stands, to be there for his first official start. Wayne, what were your thoughts on everything? So this was a game that I was supposed to get to. I couldn't make it because when I came back from Cancun, I came down with a really bad case of COVID. I finally took my test today and I'm negative, so I get to go back to work tomorrow. I'm happy about that. But I was supposed to make it to this game and see this in person, right? And my logic was, I want to go see the GOAT. I want to go see Tom Brady in person, right? Like that was, I didn't care about the status of the team, and I'm happy that we are doing what we're doing and all that stuff. But I wanted to go see Tom Brady so I could say, you know what? I saw Tom Brady before he retired, right?
Yeah.
It turns out that's exactly why Brock's family was there. They said that they put in for these tickets months and months ago. They didn't even know their son was going to be a starter. But look at the surprise. Look at the gym. Look at the jewel. Look at how the stars aligned for that family, man. What do you think of the performance of Brock? Let's talk about the team performance and things like that, man. But let's definitely start with Brock Purdy. Lean with it, Brock with it. The Brock is hot and all that other good stuff.
Man, look, man, Brock Purdy, man, after that first play, uh, he came out brocking, you know what I'm saying? And he looked really good out there on the football field, man. Really poised in the pocket. How about poised outside the pocket, if that even makes any sense? I
On
mean,
the move.
he would get outside the pocket, still be able to set his feet, get the throw. And you know what? I think Brock is just bringing a new surgence, a new energy to the 49er faithful, like something that we probably haven't really seen in a long time, right? And so Brock's energy is good, Brock's poise is good, Brock's confidence is through the roof, and that's what we want to see, right? Like
Yeah.
if you smell what the Brock is
Mm.
cooking. Ah, yeah. So, oh, that's gonna
Yes.
be my new one. That's a new one right there. That's a new one. But nah, Brock is going out there, and I think we heard about it last week in practice when you hear the players like Trent Williams come out saying he's commanding the huddle like a Peyton Manning in practice and getting people together and putting people in the right spots and yelling at the people and doing all this stuff. And I know we would be like, yo, who does Brock think he is, right? And
Right.
then he showed us exactly who he thought he was on Sunday, because not only did he defeat the Tampa Bay's defense, which was a top 7, 8 defense, top 10 for sure. Not
Right.
only did he find a way to manipulate them and take advantage of them, like he was good on the ground and in the air. Now he did have a little injury. It did start raining in the second half, so we started to see a little less Brock. But I think if Brock continues to do what he's doing, I mean, the sky's the limit for the kid, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about that second half too, and shout out to everybody joining us here on the 49ers supporters club here.
Supporters.49ers.com.
Yes, supporters. Yes, that's right. Absolutely. And then Socios, our partners out there working with us and everything. Nothing but Niners, the Wayne Breezy Network. We're all here working together. Women of the Niners. I like that also. Make sure you guys are joining all of these things. Make sure you guys are looking for them. One of the biggest criticisms I saw of Brock was he looked good, but it was only 185 yards, or it looked good, but he didn't really do much. He looked good, but he only threw the ball 3 times in the second half, right? And I was like, okay, I can see what they're saying. But then you mentioned something, right? The rain started falling, okay? And then
Mm-hmm.
the other thing that it was we were up by 4 touchdowns. How much did you want this guy to be out there passing the ball? What does Kyle Shanahan like to do? And that's going to take us to our next topic here. The run game was doing the run game, right? Like those boys were out there sticking and moving, bro. And I was really, really happy with what we saw from Jordan Mason in the second half, seeing him getting some more carries and being super duper effective every time he touched the ball. And when those guys get up and they do this thing here, man. Okay, yeah, like now it's time. Like you know what I'm saying? I like that. I like that more than the feed me thing, the spoon thing. But I'll take run CMs. Come on, man. Come on, man. Like you got to let them know, bro. Like that's how you do it. So, talk to me about that, Wayne, man. The second half of the game. The criticisms that were coming was he didn't have to do much, but I felt like he didn't have to do much. He didn't do because he didn't have to do. We, the team, didn't need to. And the run game was spectacular. They couldn't stop us. So, what were your thoughts in the second half?
Yeah, I mean, I thought the second. I mean, I like honestly, I was saying we could put up a 50 burger, but then I had to come back into my, you know, reality self and say, wait a minute, now it's time to kind of like sustain this game and make sure you walk out of here with a victory and less, injury and things like that can possibly happen. And so I was just like, okay, but you do got to factor in some things, right? And this could have factored both quarterbacks, but the rain did start picking up in that second half. It was not as bad as it was in Chicago, but when they zoomed in and you watched the zoom in on the people, the fans, the faithful in the stands, and you saw them all in their ponchos and raincoats, and then you could see
Yeah,
the rain falling. On the football field, you don't really see it much. So the
right.
rain definitely probably was affecting throwing the ball. And so when it rains, you want to run the ball. It favors the run game. Nothing's different. That's what we talk about. It favors the run game. Unfortunately, the 49ers have the better run team. 200 plus yards on the ground off of 36 carries, Mike. My numbers might be a little skewed to the left or right, but I know it was 200 yards and 30 plus carries. Matter of fact, it was 36 because I told you we had to get over 35. And the
And I
thing that
said
we
we
did
were
this week, I told you that number is 35 plus. Guys, you have no idea what Mike and I go through behind the scenes. We do a show, and
I
Mike
knew
is
you were going to
taking
bring
me.
this up.
Because you debated me to the buzzard that we
I
don't need to
said,
run the ball. And I said, Mike, we need to get 35 plus. What happened? We win 35-7.
but did we need to? See
Yes.
that's what the discussion was. But that's
but
all
we
right. You were right. You were right. I'm gonna leave it at that.
And here's why we needed to, because it allowed us to sustain that big lead. So no,
Right.
did you see the 35 pluses in the first half? Nah, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? And I think Kyle Shanahan was very pleased. His offensive line, and you got to factor in that you got a guy named CMC, yo. And now I feel like he's figured it out. I don't think they figured him out. He's continuing to figure out how to be effective with the 49ers. You know, it's a little different than it was. It's not ground and pound all the time like it was when he was in Carolina. He can actually get to the outside or get up into that out, get up and then out on that one cut to the outside zone. And all he has to do is make one guy miss, and then he's off to the races. You saw it for a 38-yard touchdown. So, look, CMC's definitely been a breath of fresh air for the 49ers, but the run game is on point, Mike.
No, it was special. It was very fun to see. I like seeing them control the game, control the clock on the ground. And shout out to Raphael. Anybody, if you guys are watching right now, make sure you guys make yourselves known in the chat. We want to see from you guys. Put those comments out there, and so make sure you guys are active in the chat also. Okay, this is a show. We want to be a little interactive with you guys, so make sure you're putting something out there. Okay,
we got Diego in here. We got my man Mike Enya here.
Yeah, absolutely. So make sure you guys are typing something in there. We want to see you guys. All right. The other thing that I liked about this game was how well they spread the ball around. Right,
Mike, did you read? You must be reading my articles.
I mean, I try to support my people.
Well, you couldn't have read this one, Mike, because it ain't published yet. But how the heck did you know that is my key to victory?
You know how you went through that thing with the hacker before?
Say less, bro. Say less. You owe me some money, though. I know that.
But I did, though. I sincerely like the way they spread the ball around. He went to a bunch of different receivers. Now, Brock didn't hit this guy, but even the rookie finally got his reception, Wayne. We got to talk about that, man. Coming in there with Josh Johnson in the fourth quarter was Danny Gray getting his reception, man. Wayne, what'd you think about the receivers, not passers, sorry, the receivers, the tight ends and all, everyone contributing just a little bit in this game? How'd you feel about it?
Well, before I talk about how I feel, I'm just trying to figure out, how you and I just find a way to be so in sync, because I just published the Kyle Shanahan clip on Danny Gray and his progression within this offense and how he feels Danny Gray is progressing. He's just not able to get opportunities because of the bodies that are on the field. But Kyle Shanahan was even pleased with it and said he's a lot better than what he was when he first started. Listen, Danny Gray, we already know, has a specialty of speed. We know that is one thing that you can't teach, right? And so the other things that you have to be able to teach these wide receivers, or where they have to progress, is their ability to be able to get open. And I don't think there's a better wide receiver on the 49ers other than Brandon Ayuk. Or maybe you could probably throw CMC in there. They just know how to get over. It's called route running. It's called being able to get over. I think Danny Gray is coming into that, into that world now that he's starting to understand football, and he's kind of letting it settle in. And so Danny Gray is going to be a problem. You got to remember, guys, when the 49ers draft, they're not drafted for right now. They drafted for tomorrow. And so tomorrow is coming because Danny Gray may be able to get some opportunities. Unfortunately, due to the fact that Deebo Samuel was injured, I just published an article saying that the 49ers are still dangerous even without Deebo. And guess who I talked about? Danny Gray. This is weird. This is so weird.
Man. You got to, because a lot of people are saying we should go outside. We should look for other people.
We got it.
Bring in OBJ and things like that. And I say, hey, man, you drafted these guys for a reason. Let's see these young pups get their opportunities. Let's see if they rise to the occasion. If they don't, then you react accordingly, right? But I want to see these young guys get their chances out there, man. And let's talk about that as the last part of the offensive breakdown here, right? I mean, unless you want to give some praise to the offensive line, because I wasn't disappointed with what I saw from the offensive line.
They gave up 0 sacks, and so when you look at that, that's always going to be in the upper echelon. That's a plus, right? 0 sacks. Now they did give up pressures, but they gave up 0 sacks. So they didn't allow their quarterback necessarily to take yards for a loss. That's what a sack is, right?
Right.
And so I thought the offensive line played better. There were few penalties, few things it's always going to be some tug and warring with the offensive line. But overall, didn't see anything. They were creating gaps and spaces in the zone. They were allowing runners to get to the outside. Jordan Mason definitely is an inside the tackle guy. He can run inside between them guards any day. Just let him have the ball. And then you got CMC who's able to get outside the tackles. I saw Trent Williams put a bustle
Listen,
bound man with their face in the sand. I'm telling
come
you,
on,
like
bro. Listen, LL was for lower level. Like,
that was
bro, let me tell you what listen, it was
that was
nasty.
after the penalty too, Mike.
I'm about to say he did it twice in this game. He did it twice in this game, bro. Like the disrespect. I I don't want to see a man that size. You know what I was doing last? Oh,
Just
here we
don't
go.
call a penalty on him. I think
Right,
that's what it is.
bro. I got in this rabbit hole last night on YouTube, and I was watching Close Encounters with Wild Animals. Okay, and listen, you're gonna have to look it up when we're done. I don't know, but this reminded me of Trent Williams. Okay, there was this girl who's snowboarding. Okay, and she's recording like this, and so you can see behind her, right? And behind her, she don't even know it. It's a grizzly bear just coming after her. She has no idea. She zips a little bit and she goes back, and you can see it like passing. And the bear finally gave up. And then I'm listening to the commentary, and they're like, she had no idea that was happening until she went back and watched the video. She didn't even know that the bear was there.
But
Right?
how does she know to get away?
No, she was just snowboard. She was going downhill.
Oh,
So it
she
just
was
happened. Yeah, it just
oh,
happened to be chasing her because it saw her moving.
and the
Bro,
beer gave up.
that's what I feel like Trent Williams is doing to people. You have no idea you were about to get demolished. You were this close. You were this close to being just torn up, man. And it's I'm happy he's on our side, bro.
Yeah.
I know
Yep,
he's a
yep, yep.
silverback, but I'm just saying, like, I'm happy he's on our side. I give kudos to the offensive line. There wasn't a lot of me yelling at people during the game. You know, it's like you see sometimes, what are you doing? What are you doing? You didn't really see a lot of that happening. So I was very pleased with that. Let's flip it over to the defensive side of the ball. But before we do, the injuries, man. The 49ers did lose Deebo Samuel for a couple of weeks. Now, reports are they're a little speculative right now, but they're saying that hopefully he can come back by the end of the season. Wayne, what would you do if you were the GM? Let's give you the GM hat here, okay? What do you do to address the need right now for a wide receiver?
Well, I mean, I think you look to the guys that you already have on the practice squad. There's still some veteran wide receivers on the practice squad, guys that we haven't really heard much of lately. Willie Snead is still there. There's guys they're going to be able to still bring up, you know what I mean? But then again, I think it's time to start like inserting some of the younger guys. I think Ray McLeod's going to get more of a role. You saw him run out of the backfield in this game,
Yes,
something
you did,
that we
yeah.
thought Deebo Samuel do. And you heard Kyle Shanahan talk about, hey man, don't you tell Ray he can't run the ball a certain way. That he's a bulldog, like right. So like Kyle Shanahan's calling him a bulldog. As I look, so we have weapons. We have dangerous weapons. That's what makes the 49ers so dangerous. You know what I'm saying? Because you're saying, oh, we about to get the depth pieces. Okay. They were depth for a reason, and they're not just depth. They should be inserted some way, somehow in this lineup. Right. It's just due to opportunities because of other players. But now we're going to see not a different game plan, but a different perspective on how Ray might run out of the backfield opposed to Deebo Samuel. So Deebo's going to look to run you over. Ray going to look to get you will miss him. So like this is going to be really cool to see how Kyle Shanahan utilizes. So don't sleep on Ray. And I wouldn't be surprised, Mike, if Jawan Jennings gets a bigger role. He's not just third and Jawan. Start giving the guy the ball. Give it to him on first down. Let him get you 15 on first. Why you got to get 15 on a third? Let him get you 15 on the first. Right. Let his energy and his mentality set the tone. To me, those tone setters, there was 3 tone setters on the offense, in my opinion, Mike. And let me know if you agree. It was Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, and you got to factor in Jawan Jennings. Those guys are straight up bully. Now, I'm not taking away from the dogs inside of from the other weapons, but those dudes look to inflict pain on you. They weren't trying to move away from the contact. They were looking to enforce it. So I think it's really cool to see what those guys are going to be able to do, you know what I'm saying, with the remaining 4 weeks of football and how Kyle Shanahan, hey, people haven't seen it before. So Kyle Shanahan is going to also abuse that aspect of it.
Yeah, now we got an opportunity to do something that they haven't seen before, hit them with something they've never seen before, Um, the defensive side of the ball, okay? We did have an injury there. Our defensive tackle,
Kevin Givens.
yes, Kevin Givens. Kevin Givens went down as well. Have you heard what the injury and expectation for the return is for him yet?
I thought Kyle Shanahan said that it wasn't as severe as they thought it was going to be, and there's a possibility that he could play this week. So
Oh, okay.
yeah. Now Kerry Hyder has an ankle injury, if I'm not mistaken, but I think he's going to be just fine. So we'll just have to see, man. Listen, when you get these kind of like twerking injuries, they're gonna swell up. And so not having enough time from a Sunday to a Thursday, that swelling is the issue. The inflammation is what swelling is, guys. So that inflammation is what's going to determine if guys can actually go out there and play. Now, Kyle Shanahan also spoke on how he's just letting players rest. There's a bunch of ankle injuries that he mentioned in the injury report today. I'm like, this must be the year of the ankle, right? Last year was the year of the knee. This year is the year of the ankle. So just gotta let these guys kind of like just rest up, heal up, and come Thursday, let them go out there and see what it is that they can handle, man. But I think the 49ers defense is going to be just about in full swing. And after this game, Mike, I think it opens the window for Javon Kinlaw.
And
Yeah.
we'll get to that in a little bit. But this defense, man, allowing 7 points to Tom Brady. Now everyone's going to say, "Well, Mike, this was a struggling Buccaneers team anyway. Like, are you really patting yourself on the back for this?"
It
And when I
wasn't
say
nobody
everybody,
was thinking that, Mike. That's my problem, yo.
these are the texts that I got in my family group. So I got a Raiders fan in there. I got 2 Eagles fans. I got a Giants fan. I got a Cowboys fan. So my family group chat, there's a Packers fan in there as well. So we throw shots at each other. We send the text message where it's, "Hey guys, good morning to you if your team won this week." You know what I mean? And then my uncle, who's a Raiders fan, he's been tight lately. You know what I'm saying? And we've been on the high. I get to say good morning to everybody for the last 6 in a row now, right? And so I was getting a little hate. Yeah, I was like, "Yo, did y'all see what our defense did?" And And it's like, yeah, but it was the Bucks. I think that's a low blow. I think that's diminishing and taking away from the greatness that is Tom Brady and that Buccaneers offense. They've got some good weapons on that team. How did the defense perform such a dominant performance in front of everybody, man? How'd they do it, Wayne?
Because the defense is like they're super like cohesive, right? They're stuck like glue. They're together. Like they're like when you move, I move, just like that. Like it's a stick and move type of thing with this defense, and remember I kept saying it's gonna take time. Like you guys got to give it time. And then we went down with a couple of key injuries, and then you had to put new players into that role, and so you had to give it time, right? And then Jimmy Ward comes back, and now he gets a new role, and you got to give it time. And so I would say time is the thing that heals all wounds, right? Time, whatever it is, what it is. But that's what it is, Mike. It's the time, right? And so yeah, guys still make mistakes. Okay, the mistakes are going to happen because we're human, right? And so the key is, how can I pick my brother up? How can I compensate if you make a mistake? Because I know you're going to help compensate if I make a mistake. And that's what it is. They hold each other accountable, but they don't keep each other down. They build each other up. And I think that's the difference between our defense and every other defense in the league. No one's out there playing for themselves. Everybody's out there playing for the one band, one sound. We're going to take it to drum line.
There you go. I like that. And speaking of one band, one sound, guys, we're going to take this down from our personal streams here. If you guys want to see the rest of this episode, make sure you guys head on over to the 49er Supporters Club. All right, so do that. The website, it should be popping up at the bottom of the screen any second now. So make sure you guys head on over here if you guys want to catch the rest of this episode. All right, we will be live for another 35, 40 minutes or so. Make sure you guys head on over here and show some love for those of you who cannot or will not do it. We appreciate you guys. We thank you guys for the support, and we'll be talking to you guys very, very soon. Okay, so head on over to supporters.49ers.com, and that's where we're going to do the rest of today's episode. Okay, more questions about this defense, man. Wayne, we couldn't get